Here we go. Base 10 blocks and multiplication. How do you use base 10 blocks or models to write an equation? First, you got to understand what base 10 blocks are. You may see it in class where they have little blocks that can connect to each other. Each one could represent a number. In this case, we're just going to count it as 1. So if we counted these in ones, this whole section here would be 10. Okay, so if you counted all of them, there's 10 total. So this whole piece counts as 10. Now, if you've seen it in class, they may have 10 of those together. 10 times 10 would be 100. Okay, so that is kind of how they use base 10 blocks, but I want to teach you all how to do an equation while using those as a model. Now, what is an equation? An equation is a math problem that has an equal sign. That's trying to keep it as simple as possible. So to give you a couple examples here, you got 2 times 5 equals, there's your equal sign, 10. 24 plus 13 equal sign, 37. 42 minus 12 equal sign, 30. So remember, an equation has an equal sign. The one that you all will see that goes along with that is an expression. Those do not have an equal sign. Alright, so here's your first example. As we just went over, these have a set of 10 in each one. Okay, so now how would we write that as an equation? Okay, so you have to write the equation. The wording is important. How do you write it as an equation? So if you had 4 of them, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times, how many is in each one of them? 10. Remember, an equation has an equal sign. What's 4 times 10? 40. Okay, now you can also write that backwards and get the same answer. So that's how an expression or an equation would look using these base 10 blocks. Okay, so you got 4 of them. That's where we got our 4 from. And each one of those has 10. That's where we got our 10 from. And when you multiply 4 times 10, you get 40. Now let's look at another one. Okay, this is where you have to be able to see a large space in the middle, because you may see this on a worksheet or a test. These two are together. These two are together. The spacing in between is smaller there than it is here. And I don't do that to confuse you. I just know that it's possible to see that on a worksheet. So you have to understand the spacing. But you could write this multiple ways. One, you could write it as 4 times 10 because each of them do have 10. However, if you added all those together, how many would you have? 10 plus 10, 20. 10 plus 10, 20. So how many sets of 20 do we have? Well, here's 1, there's 2. So you would put 2 times 20. And if we're writing an equation, remember, it's got to have the equal sign. And 2 times 20, if you want to multiply it like this, that's fine. If you know the answer there, 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. So your answer is 40. Now you get the same answer on both. The only difference is the numbers you use in your equation. Now here's you another example. Okay, I've added a couple more of these to it. Still, be aware of the spacing in case your worksheet or test has that. So we have, remember, there's 20 here, 20, 20, and 20. The question, or what it wants you to do, is write an equation. That is the key to answering the problem properly. Now, you may know the answer. Oh, there's 80 of them. If you put 80, that is not the answer that the problem wants you to do. It's telling you to write an equation. So in this case, how many sets of 20 do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would have 4 times 20 equals 80. Remember, you want to have the equal sign. Some of you all may not realize the spacing, and you may put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You may put 8 times 10 equals 80. Your answer is still the same. And they're both equations that give you the correct answer. Okay, some people just interpret it differently. I just want you to be aware of this spacing right here. Now, I messed up here with my PowerPoint. There's a lot of spacing there. And the spacing here is still wider than these little pieces. So using these base 10 blocks to write an equation, how would we write this? Okay, so I want you to be aware of this right here. That counts as 1 set, 2 set, and that's our 3rd set. How many blocks are in each set? Okay, so if each one of those are 10, we have 3 of those. That would give us 30. There's 30 in this one, and there's 30 of this one. How many different sets do I have? 1, 2, 3. So to write an equation, remember that's using an equal sign, 3 times 30. And as I said on the previous slide, some of you all may just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You may go 9 times 10. Okay, so if we answer this one, that's going to give us 90. 9 times 10, 90. The answers are the same, you just have a different equation. And it may be based on what your teacher prefers. However, you will get the same answer. It's just how you interpret this right here. That one obviously had a large space in it. You know, that's a different set. Same. It should have been the previous slide. I guess I copied it. Now, here's you a chance to try this one on your own. Okay, pause it and then try to write your own equation. Remember, you want to put your equal sign with that. Okay. All right, I hit the forward button. So I will write this out for you. So we have 2 sets. Okay. So that's how many sets I have. We are multiplying. How many is in each set? 30. As I said before, you all may write it a little bit different. You may write 6 times 10. Because each one of those are 10, you got 6 of them. And some of you all may flip it around. Some may go, well, there's 30 in this one, and there's 2 sets of those. You may write 30 times 2. And then some of you all may write 10 times 6. All of those equations will give you the same answer. 2 times 30, 60. 6 times 10, 60. 30 times 2, 60. And there's another one. For me, all of those should work. If your teacher wants something different, be sure to ask and make sure, because this can be considered as one full set right here. And this could be considered a set. So that could give you 2 sets of 30. Now, here's another one to try on your own. I've adjusted it slightly. Go ahead and pause it and try to solve it, and then we'll come back and we'll work on the answer. All right, so we're looking at the spacing again. Okay, so remember there's a large spacing here, here, and so on. So each one of these are different sets. So how many total sets do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have 6 total sets. Okay. Now how many is in each set? Well, I only have 2 long blocks here. So that's going to give me what? 10 plus 10 is 20, as I did in the first slide. I don't know why I put an equal sign there. See if I can erase that. Oh, that works. There we go. All right, so each one of those has 20, and we have 6 total sets. Okay, so 6 times 20. And that's going to give me 120. Okay, just so you know, the reason, and I've had to tell my students this over the past, I put a line through the zeros because I was in the military, and it helps distinguish the difference between a zero and the letter O. Because a lot of us have bad handwriting. I could be writing something and be like, which one of those are the letter O? Well, I don't know. So if I did this right here, like which one's the letter O? Oh, these, because they don't have a line. So if you ever see me put the line through there, that is why. So back to the problem. We have 6 total sets. Each one has 20 in it. That's how I got 120. You may have also put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Some of you all may have put 12 times 10, and that also equals 120. Okay. Well, I made these appear really slow, didn't I? Okay, try this one again. All right, now I have separated this slightly different. Okay, so now I have them all individual. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should have written 8 times, and each one of those have 10 equals 80, or 10 times 8 equals 80. That should have been your answer for that one. Well, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully this lesson on the base 10 blocks and how to write it as multiplication problems has been helpful to you. I do have other material that could be a refresher that helps you build your knowledge. Once again, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.